So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing all of my honest thoughts on this dress right here, which is Butterick B5030. So if this is something that you might be interested in, please keep on watching. Hey Stitchers, your girl Kris here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel on social, where it's totally cool to be obsessed with sewing. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a pattern review of Butterick 5030, which is a wrap dress pattern that came out a couple years ago. Now, this dress was also part of a collaboration with my friend Candice of WeCeeStyle. I'll go ahead and leave her handle on the screen and down below in the description box. So I think it was at the end of February or sometime in February, I was talking to Candice about doing a possible collaboration featuring a wrap dress. So we decided that I would do a woven dress and she would do a knit dress pattern. And for my dress, I chose Butterick 5030. Now, if you're curious about what Candice made, be sure to head on over to her channel and check out her video. I'll leave the link right here, I think, in this video, and obviously down below in the description box. Now, it just so turned out that after we had made our plans to do a wrap dress during the month of March, Black Sewing Network and Sew Your View also are having a collaboration featuring wrap dresses for the month of March. And you guys, would you believe that Butterick 5030 was one of the dress patterns that was on their lineup? So initially, I was a little bit bummed and I was talking to Candice and telling her maybe I should switch my pattern and do something else because our collaboration was now going to clash with the Black Sewing Network and Sew Your View collaboration. But she assured me that it was fine and that I should go ahead and sew up my dress. And that is exactly what I ended up doing. So thank you, Candice, for that encouragement. I'm so glad I made this dress, but I do have some thoughts about it. So before I start spilling all the tea on what I think about this pattern, let me first tell you about the pattern. So Butterick 5030, it's this one right here. I'll go ahead and drop in either the envelope or the line drawings on screen so it's easier for you to see than me holding up the pattern envelope. But this pattern came out in 2007, you guys. 2007, but it is still available on the Simplicity website. I'm not sure if only as a PDF or as a envelope pattern, but I'll go ahead and double check and I'll leave the information down below just in case you want to pick up a copy of Butterick 5030. Now, I first purchased this pattern because of Emily Hallman Designs. Now, I haven't seen her posting on Instagram for a long time, but it was her who introduced me to this pattern and I snagged it very early on in my sewing journey. And I made it up one time before. And I decided that this year, I wanted to go ahead and sew up some more wrap dress patterns that I already had in my stash. And I did share a video with you back in February, I think it was, of 6 wrap dress patterns that were in my stash and I wanted to sew up. So far, you guys, I have completed 4 out of those 6 wrap dresses. So if you're curious about all the patterns that I indicated I would like to sew up, then go ahead and check out that video. I'll drop the link in right here and down below in the description box. Now, it is wrap dress fever since the re-release of the Diane von Furstenberg wrap dress Vogue 2000. Wrap dresses have been everywhere, and that is what really prompted that video and has prompted me to dive back in headfirst into sewing up wrap dresses. So like I said, I made this dress once before, way back when I was early on in my sewing journey. Now, my first iteration of the dress, I'm going to see if I can snag a picture off Instagram so I can share it with you. You guys, I had some pointy ass dots that were not properly placed on my bust. The dots were just too long, the waistline dots, and so they ended right at the peak of my bust. And now looking back at the pictures, I'm thinking, God, what was I thinking? I rocked that dress as if it was the best thing that had ever been made. But now looking back, I'm like, oh my goodness, I had some pointy boobs because I didn't know at the time that I ought to have adjusted the length of the dots. So you live and you learn and you come a long way. So just in case you're a beginner sewist and you get a little bit frustrated, that is normal. Sooner rather than later, you will be in my position where you can look back and start laughing at the things that you had made and reflecting and reminiscing on the lessons that you learned from those makes, which is most important in my view. Now, on that occasion, I think I had made version D based on the picture. I think I had made version D. Now, this wrap dress pattern comes with two different bodices. Views A, B, and C feature a bodice that has gathering at the shoulders and then waist darts at the front and the back. And it also has a neckline band. Now, views D, E, and F have waistline darts as well as bust darts, have different variations in the sleeves. One of them featuring a sleeve cuff, and there is an optional collar that comes with view D, E, and F. Now, there's also a sash included in this pattern, so I guess you can use the sash for any of the views. Now, for this iteration, I chose to make view A, which is one of the versions that has gathering at the shoulder line. It has a neckline band that finishes off the neckline, and it does have sleeve variations. Now, I should have mentioned that all the skirts for all of the views are the same length, same shape, and everything. And you can adjust the length. Obviously, if you wanted it shorter or longer, you can adjust the length accordingly. But all of the skirts as printed are the same. Now, did this pattern come with pockets? I can't remember if pockets were included in the pattern envelope, but I absolutely did go ahead and put pockets in my iteration, but I'll get to that in just a bit. Now, as I said, I made view A, the one with the band, and I did make quite a few adjustments to my pattern. I traced off a size 16 at my shoulders, blended out to an 18 at the bust, and I think I went out to a 20 at the waistline. I also went ahead and did a 1/2 inch full bust adjustment because, you guys, I thoroughly believe in full bust adjustments. And to me, they're even more important in surplus bodices, those that wrap like this, because the bigger your bust, the more likely it is that you'll go ahead and get gaping if you don't do the full bust adjustment, just because your bust tissue is then tugging in the wrong places at your fabric. So I definitely went ahead and did a full bust adjustment on my pattern. Now, I also did a 1/2 inch sloping shoulder adjustment. I did a 1/4 inch sway back adjustment. I removed a 1/4 inch in length between my shoulder line and my bust line, just because I'm quite petite from my waistline come up, and I often have to make length adjustments to my pattern pieces so that they don't end up too long on the upper part of my body. Now, I also had to do a whopping 1 inch shortening of my bodice pieces between my waistline and my bust line. Obviously, shortening my pattern that much meant that my dart became shorter and more stout. Now, the larger your bust is, the less ideal that situation will be. And if it happens that you have a very large chest and you have to shorten your pattern pieces that much, then I would perhaps recommend splitting your waistline darts perhaps into 2 darts, just so that you don't end up with such a short and fat dart. Now, like I said, I did a 1/2 inch full bust adjustment on my bust, and I think it fits relatively well over my bust line, you guys. But, I'm not sure if it was my fabric choice. As a matter of fact, I'm 95% sure that a lot of it is accredited to my pattern, to my fabric choice. Now, I decided to sew up this dress using a linen rayon. I think it's a linen rayon that I had gotten from Mood Fabrics. This beautiful black and white linen rayon fabric. Let me turn around so that you guys can see, hopefully, how gorgeous this fabric is, how much movement it has. I really, really liked this fabric. The downside to this fabric with this make is that this baby grew. It reminded me of my toddler. Every time I turned around, it was having a growth spurt. Let me explain. So once I had made the bodice portion of my top, I had attached my skirt and I left it on my dress form so that the skirt portion, which is obviously on the bias because it is, I think, a 1/4 circle skirt, and I wanted the hem to settle so that I could level it off and then hem my garment. Now, in case you don't know, if you're new to sewing and whatnot, certain fabrics grow a lot. And worse yet, when they're cut on the bias as is with circle skirts. With a circle skirt, the side seams of your skirt are often on the bias, and so it's prone to a lot of growth, and it's ideal for you to let your garment hang for a couple of days so that you can go in and level off your hem. You guys, so not only did my hemline grow, but my neckline was also growing. Oh my goodness. I tried on my dress like maybe 3 days after I had completed most of it, and I realized that my front neckline was gaping badly. And at first I was a little confused because I did go ahead and interface the neckline band as the pattern instructs you to do. And so I couldn't understand why my bodice had grown. No, I thought at first maybe it was in my mind and it fit this terribly the first time I tried it on, but that was just not the case. I had fit my bodice, I had done my adjustments as I said, and I had been pretty happy with the bodice when I initially tried it on. But this growth was driving me crazy, and this bagging at my neckline was driving me crazy. So I thought about it. At first I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave it as is. It is what it is. I didn't want to go and unpick it. I think I was playing lazy, you guys. But the more I thought about it, the more I managed to convince myself that if I didn't go ahead and fix my neckline, I wouldn't wear this dress aside from taking photographs. So I took my time, I unpicked my serger thread on the inside where I had joined my waist, where I had joined my bodice to my skirt, and I unpicked my stitching from the front front neckline band right over to my front dart. Once I went ahead and unpicked it, I took it back to my sewing table and I removed 1 inch in length from my center front, tapered out to nothing at my dart. Once I had completed this, I rejoined my bodice to my skirt, tried it on, and I thought, maybe I could have shortened it a smidge more, maybe a 1/4 inch or so, but I would live. I would not go through the process of unpicking just for an additional 1/4 inch. Back on Christina, my dress went for another couple of days. Work, life, children, everything sort of got in the way, and I just didn't get back around to my dress. So fast forward like 3 or so days, and I'm now ready to finally level off my hem and sew my skirt. On I put my dress again and discovered more gaping. You guys, at this point, I was ready to just throw in the towel and just give up on this make. But of course, as I said, it was part of a collaboration, and I just didn't want to end up disappointing Candace by not having a completed garment. So off I took my dress again, back with Mr. Seam Ripper, and did the same process over again, removing another inch between my front bodice and my dart. Sewed it back up, and this is now what we have. I'm still not completely happy with my neckline. I did wear my dress to work today, so if it looks sort of wrinkled and worn in, that is why. It is now the end of the day, and I'm sharing this dress with you guys after I done worn it to work all day. Do not judge me. I am a busy woman and I have so much going on, and so I need to take any available opportunity I have to film my content to share with you guys. So as I was saying, I wore this dress to work today, and because I was a little uneasy about the wrap over, I did go ahead and put a cami underneath my wrap dresses. Now this is not really preferred for me. I like my wrap dresses to fit properly so that I don't have to wear camis underneath, and I don't have to put like snaps in at my crossover or anything like that. When my wrap dresses fit me and fit me well, then in my mind, I don't need to do any of these things. But as I said, I was still a little uneasy about my neckline, and of course it is a linen, so I knew with heat and movement and so on, it was likely to relax throughout the day, and I just didn't want to have any awkward flashing at work. My boss would not be amused if that was what was happening to me at work today. So I went ahead and put a camisole underneath. So needless to say, if I were to make this dress again, I definitely don't think I would use linen rayon. Now, funnily enough, I do think that linen is one of the recommended fabrics. Right, so soft linen is a recommended fabric. So Ideally, I think this fabric ought to have worked based on those recommendations. But I just don't know what happened, you guys. I just don't know why my fabric just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. I think it's stopped now. I hope it's stopped now. And whatever it is, this dress is going to remain as is. Now, I did say I put pockets in my dress. I can't remember if the pattern includes pockets, and I'm not seeing it on the envelope. I'll have to go back in and check the instructions to see if it came with a pocket piece. But I did put pockets in my skirt because I wanted pockets. I like to have pockets in my skirt. I am one of those girlies who's like team pockets, team pockets, team pockets. So I did put pockets in my skirt. Now, in terms of the wrap over, it is a true wrap dress, and it does have quite a generous amount of wrap over. So in the event that the wind blows, I wasn't too worried about flashing any unsightly bits. But I did go ahead and wear shorts under my dress anyway, because that makes me comfortable. But just in case you're one of those persons who is a little bit unsure about the wrap dress and how much exposure you might end up with if you have like a gust of wind or something, then you can be sure that this wrap dress offers you quite a bit of protection. Now, in terms of the length of the skirt, I'm not sure if you can see it all on my video. I'll go ahead and pop in pictures and twirls, obviously, so you can have a better look at my dress. But the length of this dress hits me below the knee. Now, I am 5'8", and I did not make any length adjustments, I don't think, to my skirt piece. And this is where it ended up on me. And ideally, I much prefer to have my skirts just above my knee, or even shorter, like a hoochie mama skirt. Obviously, I wouldn't wear a hoochie mama skirt to work. So in this dress, I'm thinking that I probably could have shortened it quite a bit to get it to be just over my knee, maybe a good 4 or 5 inches. And as I said, I'm 5'8". So if you're a lot shorter than I am, just be aware that this skirt will come up pretty long on you. Now, what else did I like? Now, in terms of the sleeves, I'm not sure if I'm sold on this sleeve length. I kind of feel like it's a little bit of an awkward length. It's not long enough to be like below my elbow, but it's not short as in a short sleeve. It's sort of in between. And I haven't quite made up my mind what I feel about my sleeve. I did forget to tell you though, that I did a 1-inch full bicep adjustment on my sleeve. The bicep was just way too small for comfort. So I did 1-inch bicep adjustment. So bear that in mind as well if you have chunkier arms like I do, or you often have to do full bicep adjustments, or you find that your sleeves are uncomfortable and pull and you can't lift your arms, then you might want to go ahead and incorporate a full bicep adjustment into your fitting adjustments. Now, if you don't know how to do it, I did share a video right here on my channel featuring how to do a full bicep adjustment on this very pattern, I think. So I'll go ahead and leave the link in right here and down below in the description box so that you guys can go and check that one out as well if you need more room in your biceps. So again, if I were to make this again, I probably would shorten my sleeve or lengthen my sleeve, but I'm erring on the side of shortening my sleeves just because I feel like this is a little bit of a funny length. Now, what else do I want to tell you about this? I'm not really sure if I like the neckband situation. I'll tell you guys a secret. I sewed my neckband pieces together like 2 or 3 times, just because usually you think of a neckband piece, it's going to be a facing, and so you would attach it in a particular way. And the first time I did it, I was like, wait, why is my neckband not fitting? I couldn't understand why my neckband was not fitting. And then I discovered that I had made a mistake. The neckband has to complete your bodice piece. So especially at the back bodice piece, it's curved for the neck, and you had to join it in a particular way so that the shorter portion was sitting closer to the nape of your neck, and then you go ahead and add your facing. But for some reason, when I was working through my pattern, it just wasn't adding up at first. And then I had a light bulb moment, like, wait, the neckband completes the bodice first, and then there's a separate neckband. You have to cut 2, which acts as the facing piece. Once I had finally gotten that to sink in, then it was easy enough for me to do. And if you use a neckband, obviously you can make use of some fun color blocking or print blocking or something like that. I did none of those things. I just used the same fabric to do my neckband piece. Now, overall, I'm pretty happy with my dress. It's not the most amazing thing I've ever made. It's not the best fitting thing I've ever made. It's wearable, and I am going to wear it because, again, I said I love love this fabric. And of course, I put in a lot of effort into it to get it to fit the way it does. And so I am going to wear it and incorporate it into my regular work wear. It's just that I think that with a couple extra tweaks, or maybe with a different fabric choice, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more. So yeah, this is Butterick 5030. Now, I absolutely would recommend grabbing this pattern just because it comes with so many different options. And I think it is a good wrap dress base on which you can build. Once you work through those adjustments and you get it fitting right, I think it's something that you can make over and over again, many different fabrics, many different versions, and have completely different looking dresses. So I think I'm going to keep this one in my wardrobe, and maybe I'll go ahead and give it a try sometime later. But I do have other projects that I need to get to right now, and so it's not on the list of priorities right now. In terms of my wrap over, I did forget to mention that it closes with what is this, a bar and a hook. I think this is a hook and bar. I think the instructions recommended a hook and eye. I didn't have any. I used my hook and bar. Now I think that there's a little bit of tugging right at my center front, which suggests that the placement is just a little bit off, and so it's not laying completely flat. But again, it's not bothering me enough to want to change it. So once again, this is my Butterick 5030, made in collaboration with my girl Candice of WeCeeStyle. So that is what I came in to share with you guys today. If you have any questions at all on this pattern, then be sure to leave them in the comment box down below, and I'll work through them and get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If you have made this pattern, or you are planning to make this pattern, share with me the information in the comment box as well. Let me know what view you have made or are planning to make, or if you're making any other wrap dress, or if you are participating in the Black Sewing Network Sew Your View collaboration for the month of March. I will be excited to see what your entries look like. So leave all the comments down below in the comment box, and let's have some conversation. Now, if you have made it this far in the video and you are not yet a subscriber, then what you do? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn your notification bell on so you never miss any of my upcoming videos. If you enjoyed today's content, be sure to also give me a thumbs up and let the algorithm know that you love your girl on social. So that is all I wanted to share with you guys today. I'm looking forward to being back in this space pretty soon. But until then, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and absolutely keep sewing. Peace.